I know I said the last video might be my last one, but you know what? You got to eat. And when times get tough, you got to eat more. Because remember when your mom used to tell you you'll feel better after you eat? It's true. No matter how bad your life is, make yourself a nice dinner. And what we're going to do tonight, we're going to have a nice pasta dinner. I refuse to let my situation destroy my eating habits. But they have affected it somewhat, and I'll show you why. What we're going to do, we're going to do a whole wheat penne with what I call a Fauxlognese. It's a fake bolognese sauce. We're going to use a lot of the same techniques that go in a bolognese. Now, traditionally, a very classic Italian bolognese: beef, pancetta, onions, carrots, celery, beef stock, tomato paste, and then some cream and some spices. That recipe will vary a little bit from person to person, you know, grandma to grandma. What we're going to use, we're going to use 3 meats. We're going to use this. Remember that? That's our smoked pork jowl. That's for the sodium and the cholesterol. Chicken livers, also for cholesterol and a little bit of funk. And we're going to use some ground chicken. I like ground chicken. I'm not a big fan of ground beef. I don't know why. I like a burger every now and then. Slab of meatloaf. Throw some fucking ketchup on it, and I love it. But I just don't like using ground beef for a lot of things. Besides this, you know how much that was? $1.25. When you're on a budget, you got to eat like that. I go shopping by price nowadays, not by what I want. So, here we go. Without further ado, other things we're going to put in it: onion, garlic, Italian parsley, basil, oregano, some tomato products, which we'll get to. But first, let's deal with the glorious smoked pork jowl. And I think pig is probably the most noble of all God's creatures. And could you imagine how freaking great it would be if a pig could give milk and lay eggs? You wouldn't need any other creatures. But they can't. So, you know, that's all our loss. We're going to get our olive oil hot in the pan. And we're going to dice this up. You know, cut it into strips. And my cutting board's kind of small, so sometimes it gets a little crowded, like like all the space in my head gets a little crowded with the voices in there. And we're going to dice that up. And one thing you might find, and I'll give you a tip, is if you pop this into the freezer for about 15 minutes or so, it's a little bit easier to dice because it doesn't get soft and roll around on you. And that's it. That's all I'm going to help you. An onion. Look, it's actually getting hot. Our garlic. Our garlics. And what we're going to do is take those ingredients and put them on a pan and let them sort of cook together, okay? Okay, there we go. Exciting, isn't it? And when you have pasta, you have meals for a week. You can do anything with it. As long as you have some pasta, a little bit of butter, and shit, that's really all you need. Look at this. I'm going to use this spoon. This is actually an award that I won for something. Got to get a use out of it. I'm all about that culinary idol worship. So once those get a little bit soft, we're going to add some chicken livers. We're going to chop them up. There is some argument whether the what is classified by the DOC as an actual bolognese, whether it has chicken liver in it or not. I don't care because it's good. We'll put that in. How many of you are going, oh, gross, I hate liver? I love liver. But it's also good because it's high in cholesterol. So any health benefits we're going to use, by using the whole wheat penne, we're going to negate by using the pork belly and the chicken livers. So don't worry, it's not that healthy. The important thing is to make healthy food unhealthy. And I just use whole wheat pasta because I like it better. I like the nuttiness. Then we're going to throw our ground chicken in there. I would have used ground turkey, but ground turkey was $3.50 a pound. This has half the fat of the beef, and it was $1.25, if you can believe that. If you can't believe that, you must know me. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've got everything packed away because I'm going to have to shit and get out of this apartment because I can't afford to pay rent anymore. Isn't that cute? That's what you get for killing yourself. And we're going to let that take some color, and it's going to cook for about 5 minutes. And I'm debating whether to put these peppers in there. And I don't think I'm going to. Then, in the meantime, while that's sauteing and browning, or at least turning some color, off pink, you know, we're going to take our herbs. Whoa. 420, dude. And we have basil. This is fresh oregano. You just strip it off the stem, drop it in the pile. Just like that. Then, kind of bunch it up a little, push it together. And you know what you can do is you can take these herbs, and if they're dry enough, you can put them in the food processor and chop them up if you want. I'm not a big fan of using the food processor for a lot of things. Fauxlognese, get it? Kind of clever, huh? Yeah, I know. I know. Throw that into our browning meat. Browning pot of goodness. I really want to do a stuffed pig's head. Maybe one of these days I'll work in a restaurant that's cool enough to actually serve stuffed pig's head or any part from the pig. Because you know what a great fan of the weird stuff I am. Okay, well that's going a little bit more. We're going to add crushed tomatoes, rich food, made by a poor person. In there. Up in there. Stir it around. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's going to be good. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel good, Silent Bob. A little bit of tomato paste. Not that much. About a generous tablespoon. And, again, chicken broth. 79 cents. in there. During the hurricane, I started to write a book called The Guerrilla Gourmet, which was recipes that you can create using donated church, the box of food you get from the church, and MREs. Things like, what did I make, Spambalaya. I actually made some good stuff. Just stir that around. Uh-oh, look, our cigar ashtray is almost empty. It's marking the end. We let that come up to a simmer. And I'm saving some of the chicken livers because I'll show you another pasta dish that we can do with just chicken livers. And then we're going to add just a touch of cream because I have it. Now ordinarily, in your grandma's house, or whoever's making your bolognese, oh shit, you got cream all over the place. Oh God. Got all creamy on me. We let this simmer for hours. And it's kind of like a ragu. I mean, that's what a bolognese really is. It's just a ragu. And this is done. And we're going to let it simmer for a couple minutes. At least get hot. Check my time. 11 minutes. I'm going to let it go for 1 minute, 2 minutes. That puts it 13. I've got 15. That'll give us 2 more minutes. Then I'll show you how to plate it. Parmesan. Now, contrary to most American belief, not every single pasta with tomato sauce has Parmesan on it, especially in Italy. You know, there's a lot of misconceptions about the types of pasta, what they're used in, as opposed to what they're done with here. I personally don't have a problem with putting cheese on it because I like Parmesan. And I like a big bunch of goddamn Parmesan, like about that much on it too. Give it a taste. But that's a good. And what the cream does, the cream kind of rounds it out. You've got a sharp acidic flavor from the tomatoes, and the cream sort of just mutes those edges. And that's what cream does to almost every single thing. Well, it does do it to everything. It adds a richness, a mouthfeel, and it rounds off the sharp edges of things. I don't use cream a whole lot, but that's what it does. Some people love cream. You know. Still. I'm still on the, I'm really trying to figure out how to make a pig that gives milk and eggs. It's the only animal you'd ever need. So, we'll take our pasta, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit in here and then pull it out, because I want to reserve the rest for another use. And we'll just toss it around a bit. Now this should have cooked for another about 15 minutes or so, but I'm just going to show you what we got. See, it's not real thick. And what I'll probably do is after I finish this up, put it back in the pan and let it cook for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, until the tomato paste gets thick. And that's what you get. Okay? Whoops. Get in there. And then we'll take some of our juice. That's right. You know why? Because the juice is good. And we'll spoon some over. We'll take our Parmesan and we'll grate some over. And there you go. That's the whole wheat penne with the chicken Fauxlognese. Later.